What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the NYJF pod. Here, as always, with Fireman Ed, Rob Carpenter, and Jason Coppell. After a crazy week away, how we doing, fellas?
All good.
What's happening? Everything's good.
Days. Only one major injury to talk about, so that's a positive. Overall, pretty good feeling about the team. Mandatory minicamp has been canceled as the Jets are going to be starting training camp a week early this year to accommodate the Hall of Fame game. So my question to kind of lead things off here, just a sense of pride, I think, right now is there with the fan base and everything. I'm wondering, is that going to return to the stadium atmosphere? Because it's been a long debate. Is it the stadium and the PSLs, or is it just a bad team for 12 years that have driven everybody away? So, Ed, I'll start it off with you. Do we see that that energy return to the fan base this year for home games?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, you're talking about a whole different ball game. You got Aaron Rodgers. That's all you need to know. Aaron Rodgers is on a whole nother level. And the fan base, listen, the fan base is, it's been a dozen years. They've gone through hell, and back, really. I mean, honestly, they have. And, but like I said to you in the past, they're not going to need no fireworks to let the fans know. The fans are going to show up there, man. I mean, we'll pump it up as it goes along, just to verify everything and make sure, it's a hot topic. But I think the fan base is going to be out of their minds, especially as you're watching this guy in his journey when he came to this city and how he's embracing this city. And he's just more and more, you start to see more and more things and more how he loves it. And you know what? It's obviously trickling down to all those players, because those players are, man, they are beside themselves. They can't wait to play. You could see it. It's to a man. You're hearing every guy that gets interviewed says Sky is an impact. The coaching staff. I just listened to Ron Middleton talking about him and saying, I've never been around a guy like that. That thing's going to breed that's come. Listen, the fan base is listening to all of this. The fan base is listening to this. They can't wait to get him out of that tunnel. They can't wait. They want to welcome him. So
can I make a statement?
That'll be it.
Because Ed's being very nice right now, but it's time for me to step in here. Because listen, you go to a fucking Jets game to support the team. You don't go listen. We all love the tailgate, Kev. We love the tailgate. The tailgate is the thing that brings the families together. It's one of my favorite things on the planet. But if you can't get your ass into your seat on opening day, it's a Monday night football game. There's no excuses. If you can't get into your seat 45 minutes before kickoff, it's not the stadium's fault. It's your fault. If it's more important to you to drink another fucking beer outside in the lot than it is to get inside and welcome Aaron Rodgers to town, you're not a Jets fan. You're just an asshole. So, get your ass in your seat. Cheer that. I want to see it where, it was like in the Jacksonville playoff game when an hour before kickoff, the players in the tunnel, before they came out for warm-ups, heard the ground shaking. That's the environment we need to recreate, because you know what? If this is going to be the year that we all want it to be, you need to welcome this team and have them be the guys that have been here for a few years be holy shit. Yes. What? This is some serious atmosphere. We haven't had a home field in over a decade. I don't care what the game has been. There just hasn't been that same giant stadium type vibe. And whether that's the chicken or the egg, Kev, you're right. It could be that they just haven't had a game that's really mattered that much, so that when there was, fans didn't really even remember how to act. But it's harder to get in. We know that. They try to streamline things, but it's harder to get into the stadium. Factor that in. Figure it out. If you have to leave your tailgate an hour and a half before kickoff so that you're in your seat an hour before, okay, so if you have to spend $10 for a beer instead of drinking one of your free beers outside, have your beer in your seat and get into it. Let's get that crowd rocking again.
I think a lot of it's also just breaking old habits. So many fans have been conditioned. Yeah, I'm going to tailgate right up to 12:30 because why do I want to get in there early to watch a Jets team that's been lousy for over a decade? I think that's part of it also. Now things are completely changing. Now there's actually a reason to get inside there early. Rob, what are your thoughts, man?
It's going to be interesting to see if the Stadium Authority actually opens the gates earlier, since it's a Monday night game. Because a lot of traffic is going to be around there on Monday. that's just a regular day around these parts. But if they open up the gates earlier than normal, because I think for a Monday night game, they usually open up around 5. They open up around 3, between 3 and 4.
It's always 5 hours before, so 3:30.
3:30. Yeah, but it's still gonna be a lot of traffic around there. Route 3 right there, man. That's just the gateway from the city into Jersey. If they open the gates earlier, I'm quite sure people can get there earlier, and there shouldn't be any excuses at all as far as people actually being able to party in the parking lot and then get into their seats. It is, like you said, it's a Monday night game. You should actually be in your seats long before kickoff, considering it is a Monday night game. It's the only game everyone is going to be watching first week, and it would be nice to have the stadium filled when the cameras are panning around, during pregame.
Yeah, look, it's a 8:30 kickoff. Leave your tailgate at 7:15. Get to your seat. It's going to take you 25 minutes to get from your car to your seat. That's just a fact. You got to wait online. You got to get through. You got to the ridiculous layout of MetLife Stadium and how many escalators and shit you got to go to get to the upper deck. Whatever the case may be, leave your tailgate at 7:15. It's all right. You leave at 7:15. You will be in your seat in plenty of time, and you will be rocking as the crowd as it's introduced. You'll be fine. 4 hours is plenty of time to drink and eat. You don't need 4 hours and 4.5 hours. Just get to your seat, man. Like, let's, because that will get Rob, realistically, as a player, when you walked out of the tunnel and the crowd was mayhem, as opposed to walking out and seeing 50,000 empty seats, how much of a difference did that make in like your like pregame ritual? Did you phase that out and it didn't really matter, or like did it give you some extra juice? Like, all right, we're gonna kick some fucking ass tonight.
No, it absolutely gives you some extra adrenaline. Absolutely. If you walk out of the tunnel and you see the stadium filled, for sure. Your home crowd is there, and your adrenaline level just goes up. If you walk out of the stadium and it's pretty much bland, there's nobody there, it's like a high school game, then you're like, yeah, all right, let me just go through my ritual and get it over with. But stadium there filled, you hear the sounds of the stadium, you hear some music playing, and you just get that vibe, you get that feeling, and your adrenaline level just goes up, man. You just start getting that hyper feeling where you just are ready to play. You want the kickoff to come right at that moment.
I mean, Bills Mafia. We're playing the Bills. We
Absolutely.
need the W. And Bills Mafia will be in that stadium. They're not staying out in that tailgate. That place is packed if this game is in Buffalo, if it's a reverse situation. We can't get one up by Bills Mafia.
I look at what Seattle has with that 12th man, and I don't get why we can't have that again here. Because as Jet fans, Ed, we were talking prior to the show starting, from 98 to 2010, the end of the Rex years, we made a difference in so many fucking games. The Jacksonville playoff game, the 2002 Packer game, the 41-0 shutout against the Colts, the opener against the Pats in 2009, the winning
Monday Night Miracle.
Those games weren't even close. Games weren't even close. The fans took over that fucking building. Go ahead.
Listen, the fans they've been waiting for something. Okay? The fans have showed you that they can show up. They've made it very clear that they could show up, okay? Well, the Jets finally put the product. I'm going to give you a little story. When Army Navy game was in Meadowlands 3 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, in MetLife. I'm online. The stadium was insane, okay? So the game started at 12 or 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. I think it was 12 o'clock. The parking lot, the cars at 7 o'clock in the morning jammed in the turnpike to get in place. So I'm online, and I happen to see Bobby Mastrati, who's the head of security. He's with Salah. He's waiting on Salah. Salah's coming. He says, "Hey, Eddie," yells over to me. Eddie, he sees me online. I said, "Bobby," I said, "this is how it should be for the Jet games." I says, "You tell Salah that." I said, "That's how it should be. That they should be the 17, 120, 3, the turnpike, all should be jammed, All right. If they're not letting you in at 3:30, they should be there at 2:00 in the afternoon and causing havoc. That they can't get in there quick enough. Okay, that's what I told them. I said would happen when we give them a team that will mean something, and I believe that's going to happen. I do. I think the build up to this season, obviously Monday night, but it's the season. And I just think you're going to see the Jet fans show up. I really do. I believe that. I think the assholes that are in that parking lot, I told you this before, they either don't have a ticket or they're drunk as a skunk and they don't give a rat's ass. So it's not going to matter. We don't need those 500 or 1,000 or 2,000. We don't need them because there should be 80 other thousand because that thing holds 82.5, I think. There's going to be standing room only that night. Are you kidding me? Woody's licking his chops.
I'm going to tell you.
They're going to be standing room only there.
I'm going to tell you one other thing. So the reverse of the adrenaline for the home team coming in, as the visiting team, when you're coming over to the stadium, if the parking lot, the teams usually get there 3 hours early before the game, and the buses are coming through. If the stadium is filled or the parking lot is filled with the home team fans, that plays another part. Because if the buses are pulling up and the opposing team sees that stadium filled with the home team fans, they know, it's going to be a loud one. We're in for a big one today. If the other team's pulling into the parking lot, and they see mostly their fans, that's a positive for them. And that has happened over the last few years, and we all know that. Where there's certain teams that come into MetLife. Yeah, it's Buffalo, Miami. Those fans fill up the stadium more than certain Jets fans at times. And me, myself, now pulling into the parking lot. And, when I pull over there into the parking lot and I see that, I'm like, all right, it's going to be one of those days. But, as an opposing team, you pull up into the parking lot for your pregame stuff and you see it filled with the home team fans. Yeah, that plays an important part in this. And that hopefully this season changes that back around to where it's mostly Jets fans in the parking lot.
I got another group that I got to gripe with. If you're a Jets fan who sells your fucking ticket to the opener on Monday Night Football because you think you can make a couple bucks, and a Bills fan winds up with your ticket, I mean, crazy.
You suck.
What are you doing? Like,
you suck.
Yeah, you do me a favor. Like, stop going to games if you're going to do that, because Bills fans should not be able to get tickets. There should, if that stadium is near sold out, or however many season ticket holders we have left at this point, and I know they're ringing those bells and Woody Johnson's posting those videos of how many season tickets they're selling. If you have season tickets to this game and you don't show up, you suck. You suck. I don't care how much money you get for your tickets.
I'm telling you, you're gonna see.
That would be ridiculous.
I'm telling you, I have faith in the fan base. I think the fan base has suffered long enough. I think you're going to see a totally different crowd that you're going to see that night. Never mind. I think the whole season. I mean, I think on the road, I think you're just going to see they're coming, man. They're coming. Remember, the NFL is pushing Aaron Rodgers. All these stations are Rob knows this. They're pushing Aaron Rodgers. He's everywhere. They're constantly talking about him. It's the lead story on all the time. It's a constant lead story. So what do you think it's going to be like when training camp comes as he builds up? And we're starting it off the whole NFL season. We're starting it off in Canton. We're starting it on a Thursday night. That place is going to be rocking. I'm going to rock that place in Canton. I'm rocking that place in Canton. I got on my tickets. I've had them since Joe Klecko was going in. I went right out. That's my boy. That's my boy, Joe Klecko. I mean, I like Revis, but Joe Klecko's that's the guy for me. I mean, Joe should have been in a long time ago. Man.
I can't wait to see Zach Wilson smoke some people out there.
Come on, Revis is Revis.
Over under first chant of the regular season.
That's going to be his.
What are we thinking? Over under.
Yeah, well, that's what's going on.
Over under what, Kev? I didn't hear you.
Over under 7:15. The first chant regular season.
Ed, did we lose Ed?
7:15.
17 sounds about right.
7:50,
That's when it should be
8:30.
starting.
Somewhere around there. It'll be close. It'll be what's the game start? 8:30?
Yeah.
I thought it was 8:15.
No, I would say
Thought just at 7:30.
I'd say maybe 45 minutes before. Probably. I would say they'll still be in
As long as the players
they'll
are
be
still
on the field doing their warm up still. They don't go into the tunnel half hour before?
Yeah. I was gonna say
Yeah, pregame starts an hour before though.
Warming up on the field.
Pregame starts, they're on the field an hour before.
An hour before,
so
the pregame starts.
Yeah, so I figure 45 minutes. I would think the place should be electric by then. It should be just total electricity. So I would think, as soon as I feel it, I'll see it. I'll know it, because if they got a half a brain in their heads, they're gonna have me on that goddamn screen, and I'm gonna do my part. So I mean,
speaking of electric,
I fully expect
then we got
that to happen.
After we beat Buffalo week 1 and head into Dallas, rocking chants on my bachelor party, just completely out of my freaking mind in that place. Just stop. I'm too fired up for the season. I can't wait. I mean, those first 2 games, electric factory. We got Buffalo and Dallas. Let's go.
I'm gonna go broke this season with all.
And you got New England, and then you got Kansas City. I mean, we're on the road a couple of times, man.
Listen, I was just going to say that. So the first 6 games of the season is like, I can't imagine the team actually, if they won 4 out of the first 6 games, the team is well on their way, man. Those first 6 games are going to be pretty crucial. So if they win 4 out of those first 6,
I'm expecting at least 4-2. We go 4-2. It's going to be I could see a 13-win season. I'm just telling you. They go 4-2. They're going to have a shot at winning 13 games, and they're going to get home field throughout the playoffs. That's the mission. That is the absolute mission. Is to go 4-2, because honestly, those last 11, they're all winnable. All of them are winnable. And I just think they're going to go.
That's why I look at the first 6. That's why I look at the first 6. That first 6, I'm like, man, they got to come out of the first 6 with at least 4 wins. They come out of 4 wins and 4 or more, and they are, like you said, they're well on their way, and they should actually win the division pretty easy if they win the first 4 out of the first 6.
They set that tone on that first game in a Monday night. That's going to be huge. That's a huge game. I think we're going to talk about it more thoroughly, obviously, but listen, it's just giving you a little idea of what's happening in Buffalo, bro. Listen, that Stephon Diggs is not happy.
Yeah.
All right, and you've seen that from the playoffs last year. He was a problem when he was in Minnesota.
Yep.
I mean, listen, there's a lot going on there. There's a lot going. They're questioning that coaching staff. I'm telling you,
quarterback.
Rob, you played. You cannot tell me that Buffalo those players are not questioning that coaching staff with that team. They were supposed to win the last 2 years, not last year, both 2 years. They were supposed to
win. Newsflash: it's hard to win games when your quarterback's
and that's why Stephon actually.
That guy stinks.
But
Josh Allen
That's why Stephon is actually not there. I wouldn't go that far, Jay. He's not. He doesn't stink, but he's not.
he's a good.
He hasn't put the team where they actually should be in those final minutes. Those final minutes of those last couple of playoff games. But Stephon made his point in that last playoff game, and it's continued from that point in that game all the way up to this point. And whether they want to talk about it or not, up there in Buffalo about him being dissatisfied with whether it's the coaches or certain players on the team, it's going to come out sooner or later because he's probably going to say it. But I do believe that it's not just him, like you said, it's not just him, questioning the coaches staff. It started. I was just going to say, it started in that Kansas City game. 13 seconds, bro. 13 seconds. And from that point on, it's just been what are we doing? And all throughout last season, there was always that one question: can they get over the hump? Can they get over the hump because of that 13 seconds, or will they just start sliding back? And I think at this point, man, they're starting to slide back. They're still a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're still a good team. But I just think, the division has caught up to them. And the rest of the AFC is actually catching up.
Well, the Bills Mafia, I mean, they had their opportunity, all right? And Cincinnati went in there and spanked them. I mean, literally, from the beginning of the game, spanked them. They were never in that game.
Yeah.
That game was Cincinnati had their way with them.
They have a real quarterback.
In their house. So
Bengals have a real quarterback. Bills have a fake quarterback. That guy stinks. And I'll go to my grave talking about that guy has more turnovers by a wide margin in close games than any other quarterback in the NFL. And it's because he's like that guy that's good enough to get you.
Jay.
Yeah, but he's that guy that's good enough to get you into a big spot and bad enough to lose it for you.
Still won
every
a lot
time.
of games, Jay. Okay.
So did Tony Romo. And what did that guy do? He's Tony Romo, dude. That's what
Still
Josh
won a lot
Allen
of games,
is.
Jay.
Okay. Win a lot of regular season games and never win a Super Bowl. I'm fine with that.
I still respect him. I think he's still a real good player. But you know what? I think that
can't sleep on anything.
You have that window, man. You have that window, and you got to take advantage of that window, man. And I just think, like you said, I think that window's closing, man. And there's a lot going on. This guy's jumping ship. You got Leslie Frazier stepped away. All right. So whatever went on there, he stepped away. You got Stephon Diggs saying it ain't right. There's something ain't right. And so these are major players. You're talking about major players here that we're talking about. These guys ain't. Leslie Frazier's a well-renowned, well-known coach in the league. I mean, come on. Stop the shit.
7-10 this year.
Sticking with bad quarterbacks.
Opening game, we go in there and that crowd and spank their ass. Spank their ass. Never let them get back into it. Make them, they're already questioning themselves because their last time on the field, they got their ass whipped at home again in Buffalo. You could jump right on them.
And I can tell you right now, the whole Jets coaching staff is watching that Cincinnati film over and over and over again. The whole staff, like that's probably been the whole offseason priority to break down every segment of that game film, and see what they can take from that game film and incorporate it into game plan just for that one opening game. So there's going to be a lot of what Cincinnati did in the Monday night game, and you probably won't see it again for the rest of the season because the next time they play Buffalo, it'll just be back to a regular game plan, what they've done normally and what they're going to do out through the regular season. But yeah, a lot of this offseason is going into the opening weekend, and it's going to be a lot of Cincinnati seen in that game.
And that opening game very well could determine if we get the division and get home field throughout the playoffs. That's how big that game is. You can't lose that game at home. You cannot lose that game at home and then expect on November 19th to go up to Buffalo and win the game. All right? You got to win that game.
Right.
Then you steal one. Then you become a glutton. Then you go down. I'm going up there and taking it there. But
house money.
You got to protect the house. The house.
Just sticking with the bad quarterbacks in the AFC East for a second. Did you guys see Mike Tannenbaum's comments today?
No.
That if DeAndre Hopkins
I did not know what he said.
Yeah, he said if DeAndre Hopkins signs with the Patriots, it would change the complexity of the AFC East. I'm just like, who's throwing the guy the ball, and what else do they even have? To me, if anything, it's a 3-team race. Maybe you throw Miami in there, but it's just
his marbles.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins was on Arizona last year, and they stunk. Like, what difference? I mean, don't get me wrong. DeAndre Hopkins is great. I wanted him on the Jets. We talked about it, Rob and I. I like DeAndre Hopkins as a player, but he's not turning New England into a Super Bowl contender. That's just crazy. I don't think any wide receiver would turn them into a Super Bowl. They stink. They have nothing.
He doesn't have that top end speed that he had at one point in time. He doesn't have that breakaway that he had at one point in time. Don't get me wrong, because he's a good receiver still. He can still get open in space, but he's not that guy that's like what Miami has. Miami has two speed burners that actually can get open in space, short, long. You're looking at what the Jets have. They got speed to get down the field and blow the roof off, and can get intermediate stuff. Buffalo does as well, but New England just adding D-Hop, that actually just adds a very, very, very good possession receiver at this point in time. And don't get me wrong, he in the red zone, he'll be a very good threat in the red zone because he's one of the best jump ball receivers in the league. He just throw it up there and his hands are fucking huge. So anytime he just gets his hands on the ball, he's pretty much almost guaranteed to bring it in. But he's not gonna put them on top of the division. Not just him. It's gonna take a whole lot more than just him to put the wing back on top of the division.
Not only that, but Sauce is gonna put him in a grinder. Like there's just good luck beating Sauce. DeAndre Hopkins is not that guy that's gonna be beating Sauce this year. I feel good about that matchup.
Shout out to Sauce, new Vayner client.
Let's go, baby. That had me fired up. That's a
Love
home
it.
squad.
Love
Bring them all in.
Love it. Bring it on.
Sauce and Reed. Best
Buffalo
quarterback
Wild
duo in
Wings.
the league.
I wonder if DJ had a little something to do with that.
Probably.
I'm sure he did.
He probably did. Doesn't hurt. Not only that, but I mean, just being real. Just being real for a second.
Bro.
Just being real for a second, though. I mean, like, this is not even just bias. I think it's just true. And, Vayner Sports is the best at what they do, man. And, the thing is, like, with the modern age of, like, these athletes having social media accounts and having their own personal brands, basically, it's a change. It's a completely different world than it was 10, 15 years ago for these athletes. And you need to be on the cutting edge of what works on social media in order to maximize that experience. And Vayner Sports is look, I work for the company, but Vayner Sports is, in my opinion, at the top of what they do. And, I think it's just, it benefits. Plus, I mean, look, at the end of the day, Rob, I mean, maybe you can speak to this. Like, as far as like an agent goes, that reps, it's got to help that like AJ and Gary are outspoken Jet fans, right? If they're trying to recruit Jets players, like, it's authentic. It's not bullshit. They say like, hey, like we got your best interest in mind. We're hardcore Jet fan. Now they have other players on other teams and everything that they rep, obviously, but like that's got to help in the recruiting process, I would imagine.
Oh, absolutely. Especially, those guys are gonna be in the stadium. They're your guys, and they're in the stadium every week. So, that's why I said that's why I just made that quick comment. One of DJ had something to do with that. That's his buddy on the other side of the field, and
$1,000,000%.
DJ's already on board, and you got the defensive player of the year, and one of the best cornerbacks, in the league as a young guy, and you're already with that program, and he can see it. Sauce probably saw what was going on with with DJ and Vayner Sports throughout the season, and what's going on now. So, if DJ put that bug in his ear, man, it's probably a no-brainer for him. And again, like you just said, Jake, those guys are authentic Jets fans. So, why wouldn't you want to have your reps actually right there with you, right here in the same stadium where you're actually playing every week?
You go to the office and you see all the Jet stuff around. Ed's been there. He knows just Jet stuff everywhere. It's great.
Let's go.
All right, so shifting to a topic that I wanted to get into last week. Vikings released running back Dalvin Cook, 27 years old. Do the Jets have a need there? And would Dalvin Cook want to come here and split carries with Breece Hall? What are we thinking?
Yes, he would. Absolutely, he would. Because that's going to prolong his career. And that's a big, double coin that the rest of the league has to deal with when you're actually dealing with both of those guys, and they're fresh pretty much for every series. So, yes, I absolutely believe that Cook would actually come in here and be 100% on board with splitting carries with Breece and the rest of the young fellas out of here. So, that'd be a hell of a formidable running back room right there, man. That would actually enhance Aaron Rodgers. For sure, because he knows what Dalvin Cook can do, playing against him twice a year, for the last couple of years. But, again, that just is going to keep a running back room fresh. You got, two explosive guys, let alone carrying the ball that can catch the ball out of the backfield. And Aaron Rodgers does throw the ball to the backs quite a bit. So, man, that'll be a hell of a duo in this league.
Good Jets teams always have an explosive number 2, running back. We've had like going all the way back to like Johnny Hector and Freeman McNeil, or you had like, LaDainian Tomlinson at the 2, or Lamont Jordan, or you had, just Sean Green, guys like that. You always want to have that number 2 guy that can, that can come in off the bench, or even if it's a 1 and a 1A type of situation. Dalvin Cook and Sean Green would be ridiculous. And then you have, you have Michael Carter, you have Israel, you have guys on this team that like that running back room would be ridiculous. I mean, it's almost overkill at that point. But then you know what happens? Guys get banged up. You need guys, depth. You can never have too much depth at any position.
Dalvin Cook, let me tell you something. Dalvin Cook has been watching Aaron Rodgers tear them up, all right, for years. Tear that whole division up. You think he ain't looking and going, I got a chance to play with this guy now? I could win a world championship with this guy? Come on, man. Listen, that's a definite possibility. I love what Sal, because Salah said with Hopkins, we like our wide receiver room. You didn't hear him say that when he said to me, we'll turn over every rock. Okay? So I think they're in on that thing. Now it's just going to come down to what the money is and, but I mean, listen, they want to win that ring, right, Rob? They want to win that ring. And with the ring comes endorsements, comes you got more money in the playoffs, the whole bit. So, I think I'd love to see Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook that would be, oh my God, I'd love to have him.
Did you see what he did to Buffalo last season?
Go ahead.
Did you see what Dalvin Cook did to Buffalo last season? That's all you need to look at. He tore them up. And true, he tore us up too. But that's the thing. So he can come in and like I said, he'll be fresh for the most of the entire game because him and Brees splitting carries. But also at the same time, you got to remember Brees is coming off that injury. So early in the season, Brees is not going to be the guy carrying a whole lot. And Dalvin Cook would be that guy to put them. They'll keep them at the top of the heap, man, until Brees is actually fully 100% and fully comfortable with his knee and doing everything. But when those two guys are 100%, man, oh my gosh, that'd be one of the best duos in this league.
And the first 6 games to throw the first 6 games in, it'd be perfect having him. Like you said with Brees Hall, give him a chance to. He's only going to get so many carries and so many touches. Dalvin Cook would be. You wouldn't miss a beat. I mean, Aaron would be thrilled, man. I think Aaron's got to be pushing for him. I would think that's got to be the case.
And we've seen it with so many dynamic playmakers also when it comes to like serious knee injuries. It almost always takes at least a year to fully get back to, feel comfortable taking hits and making all those cuts.
And I can tell you right now, Aaron is probably like, man, look, get me that guy so I don't have to play against that guy. I played against him enough. He's burned us enough. Let me have him for once instead of actually having to watch him run up and down the field. Let me have that guy behind me for one time. And yeah, I'm absolutely sure, like you said, that the Jets are in on it, and this is going to be it's actually probably going to just be up to Dalvin whether he wants to take the money that they're actually offering and see if they can actually load it up with some incentives that he probably can reach. So he'll make up that money during the season in those bonuses.
So another guy. Go ahead, Jay.
Can you bring up that comment that Charles Henderson just put in there about Budda Baker?
Gotcha.
This is interesting because I really like Budda Baker, but check out this story. This is an interesting story. Before one of the Jets road games this year, I was at a car wash down here in Florida. I had my Jets jersey on, and this lady comes up to me and she's wearing a Arizona Cardinals Budda Baker jersey. I was with my fiance, and she starts talking to me and she says, "Oh, my son plays in the NFL," and I said, "Oh." And I looked at her jersey. I said, "Yo, are you Budda Baker's mom?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so we were literally waiting for like 25 minutes. So we were striking up. She gave me like this can of his like energy drink that he owns or something. And we were talking for a while, and she was getting into that he really likes the Jets. Like I don't know if he grew up a Jets fan or what the deal was, but she was talking about how he's super into the Jets and like loves what they're doing and everything. And I was like, he should come play for the Jets one day. We would love to have a Budda Baker on our squad. So when I saw that comment, it made me think about, talking to his mom for a while. It was pretty cool.
Same here. I'll take it.
Yeah.
He's got a big contract though, right?
That would be one of those things that would be a shocker if that were to happen. But safety room would be enhanced a whole lot with him back there.
Oh yeah,
that's for sure.
Is he a free agent or something? Where would that comment come from? I'm curious.
I think there was something about him like looking for a
trade.
trade.
Oh,
they're going
yeah,
for
I think it's still in the contract. I think they're looking to trade him. Yeah.
Nice.
So, go ahead.
No, I'm good. I was saying nice.
I was just gonna say, going right into safety talk. Jets add Adrian Amos, 1-year contract. I think it was like $2.7 million against the cap with some incentives in there that could push it up to $4 million. We got to enjoy that for like 3 hours, and then we hear the news about Chuck Clark potentially serious knee injury, could possibly be out for the year. So, what are your thoughts on where the Jets safety group stands right now?
I mean, it's unfortunate with Chuck Clark, and that's the reason why they brought Amos in. So, and it's real unfortunate that it actually happened at this point now. Unfortunate for Clark actually that it happened right now. But I mean, it's good for the Jets because it happened now, and they could actually react to it and get something done. Before training camp starts. So, hopefully he can add a little bit of what he actually had done in Green Bay over the last few years. Because he was a solid player back there. Not necessarily saying that he was a world beater. One of the actual top safeties in the league, but he's a steady guy. So that's actually what you're looking for right now. Because as we said, for a while, that's one of the only positions that the Jets actually were or should look to upgrade. But because it's been so long since we have said where the Jets don't really need anything at this point. But safety was one of those spots, and he's a good solid player, man. So he should be able to solidify things back there.
Dependable too. Hasn't missed any time in 5 years.
Right. That's a big thing. That's a huge thing when you're back there, and having to go from sideline to sideline, and dealing with the quarterbacks that are around, especially in this division.
That was that's another Aaron Rodgers signing. He probably loved the kid.
Yeah, Ed's favorite saying too. Ed's favorite saying on that guy is the best ability is availability, right, Ed?
That's it.
Can't make the club in the tub.
Can't, that's it. You can't make the club in the tub.
All right, so what else we got? A few other positions here to talk about. Salah had some nice comments today, or I think it was a few days ago actually, about Jamie Sherwood. So you wonder, third-year linebacker. He's been in the system for a few years now. Do you think it's possible that they're actually depending on him for a big role in this defense if something doesn't work out with Quan Alexander?
I do think so.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. Bro. No, I was saying you can go ahead, Ed, because I actually do. I really do think they're actually looking for Jimmy to actually step up, in his third year and be one of those guys that's playing regularly on that defense right now.
I'll tell you what, if you get what Sal is saying about this kid, these are the things that get championships. This is how you win championships. Because you're not expecting anything from that kid. You develop this kid into being a stud because he's patient. Play the outside, the inside. Let me tell you something. That would be massive. Along with signing Quan, because I still think that's going to happen. I mean, I would be thrilled because we already talked about Mosley. We've already talked about Mosley. So I want some kind of reassurance on that linebacker position. And that's why I was saying, I wanted to trade for the kid from Baltimore, Patrick Queen. I love that kid. Kid's a beast. So,
he is.
But if nothing like getting homegrown guys that are in the system. He's in Salah's system. He drafted him as a rookie. It's his third year. That'd be awesome. And the other kid,
Nasruddin?
Nasruddin.
His name. I would love to see those two kids. They drafted both those linebackers, man. I'd love to see those kids
converted safeties.
Make an impact. You know?
Yeah.
Love to see it.
And looking at that speed going from sideline to sideline with those two kids. And Sherwood actually definitely for sure. And like you said, Ed, you could see it and you could hear it in Salah's comments about him that they see what they or they're seeing what they were looking for. Him going into his third year, another off season. So I'm pretty sure they're liking what they're seeing, and they know that this kid could actually be one of the guys that's actually going to be on that field quite a bit this year.
Do
you guys think that? That's an interesting question in the chat. Do you guys think that Aaron Rodgers will even get like a single snap in the Hall of Fame game?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
It's a
I don't
Zach
think
Wilson
he's
game?
probably not.
No.
Yeah,
No
he's not going to play he's not going to play the entire preseason. He's not going to take a snap in the entire preseason at all.
Yeah.
No. He's got to play at least one game.
No. He ain't playing. You will not. Kev, get that out of your head. He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing.
You're going to have him take his first snap on Monday night?
Kev, he's not playing. He's an 18-year veteran. He can wake up and throw a rope at 3 a.m. He will wake up at 3 a.m. and throw a goddamn rope with no warming up. Don't talk like you're talking ridiculous at this point.
No.
That guy is a stud, and he.
I'm not questioning anything you just said, but I want his first snap to be on Monday Night Football, though. At least get him.
Trust me.
I don't give a shit. He'll throw a rope on the opening play.
If they give him.
I've been waiting for Ed to get fired up this episode. There it is.
Preseason. If they give him any snaps in the preseason, it's going to be the last game, the first series, hand the ball off 3 times and come off the field. Yeah. And we don't want no issues going into the opening game. None.
No way. No way.
And that'll be it.
No effing way. There's no fucking way he's playing now. You are fucking delusional. Motherfucker. I would be a maniac if he played. You're out of your mind. He's 18 fucking years in the league. You're going to tell me he needs to get a snap? He needs to get a fucking series? If that's what we're worried about, we're fucking delusional. Okay? He's going in. He's waking up like this at 3 a.m, and he's going to throw a fucking dart to Cole Hardman down the fucking sideline for a 70-yard bomb. Good night.
What if he wants the reps? What if he's asking to actually play?
Nah, he's not even going to actually. He's not even going to ask for the reps. His reps are going to come in practice. Those guys are going to be ready to go from practicing throughout training camp, and that's going to be it. Aaron's going to suit up, go out for pregame warmups, go through pregame warmups, put his hat on, and go take a seat and watch the entire preseason. That's it. If it wasn't for the Hall of Fame game, that extra game, just remember, there's only 3 preseason games, for everybody else. So there'd be no reason for him to take snaps at all. And the cut down dates are so much later now. And that's the reason why they do it. So the guys that are like him don't have to take snaps in the preseason at all. You don't have to risk injury at all in the preseason. Zach Wilson is going to get a lot of snaps during this preseason. So he better take advantage of all those snaps that he's going to get in all those preseason games. He's going to get a lot of them.
And so is the other kid, Boyle. He's going to get plenty of action.
Zach, baby.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to watch Zach sling it around against third stringers in the Hall of Fame game. I can't wait. And they're going to be people. He's going to light it up, and then there are going to be all these people that are going to jump into the comments and be like, you know what? We might have something with Zach. He had a big offseason.
Here we go.
I'm actually excited for Zach. He's kind of embraced this new role. I think you see a little bit more maturity already from him. He kind of understands that he put himself in this position. He's willing to learn from Rodgers. I'm like, this is a young kid with plenty of talent. Just let him sit back, let him watch, let him grow. Having Aaron Rodgers around fixes a lot of things, man. It's the ultimate deodorant, man. It fixes a lot of things.
It's all a positive for that kid. That kid should thank his lucky stars that they were able to. Aaron Rodgers came out of the darkness and wanted to play for the New York Football Jets. I can tell you that. A kid should be thanking his lucky stars that's happening because he's getting everything. He's getting indoctrinated into everything. All the little intricacies. I can't say the word. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And he's over there.
Intricacies.
I couldn't say it. And he's in. I wasn't going to keep trying to say it. He's going.
You got it, Ed.
He's talking to defensive players. Listen. Eat it all up. Eat it all up. Enjoy just let it rain. Let the fucking rain come in, baby. Let it rain. It's raining Aaron Rodgers. It's raining Aaron Rodgers. Come on, Aaron. Rain on me, brother. Rain on me. Let's go all the way to Vegas for a second time for a World Championship trophy presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
I can't wait to that. I can't wait to that first.
I said, confetti goes down, and I'm out of my fucking bird. I'm out of my bird. I lost my fucking marbles.
And what's the over/under on how much money we're going to lose that night when we're running around Vegas after we win the Super Bowl?
Oh my God, that's going to be the start of a major tour. There's going to be a tour because we're starting there. Then we're going to the parade, and then the bus tour. Then the bus tour starts. Fireman Ed bus tour starts, and we go to every establishment in the metropolitan area because they've been waiting forever, and they all have their jet signs, and we're going to go to the neon signs, and we're going to go, we're going to you, and 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 we're going to you, we're going to all you.
Is there any chance we could rent out a fire truck to make that happen?
If you are a beer and you want to sponsor the Fireman Ed Victory Tour, hit us up in the DMs.
That's right. That's right.
Bus tour.
That's it. Kev's got a good idea, but there's not enough people could get on a fire truck, so we'd have to.
There was a bar in Richmond, Virginia, when I lived down there that I used to do printing for. It was called the Halligan Bar. It was owned by a fireman, and they had half a fire truck cut and on the wall. Nice. It was unbelievable. And that's the front of the fire truck. And like they used to like ring the sirens and everything. Ed, you would have loved that spot. It was crazy.
Yeah, you know what? In the Halligan, I mean, the Halligan is the main tool to force a door.
Yep.
You know what I used to use the Halligan? I used to operate the Halligan like it was a baton. Like it was a baton. Flip it around. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you. I'll get.
There's some out there that say you were never a fireman, though, so that story is completely made up.
Yeah, I know.
Last topic as we start to wrap up. Give me one guy that we haven't really talked too much about. A guy that's flying under the radar that you think could have a solid training camp, possibly make the team, have an impact. And I'll throw one guy out there that I'm kind of getting excited about that I wrote off 2 years ago and even last year. Denzel Mims. Just kind of looking back at his rookie tape and the things that he does well. Now you actually give a quarterback that can pinpoint the football, that could actually allow him to go up and get some of those contested catches. I'm excited to see what kind of Denzel Mims we get in training camp.
Kevin Sirkin, the primetime producer, pumping my Denzel Mims rookie card personal collection. I respect it. I love it. If Denzel Mims has a big year, that might pay for my Super Bowl ticket. I'm just saying, like, let's go. Because I have a lot of Denzel Mims cards laying around from the time he was drafted. You got some too?
I got a few.
I have some of his rarest cards. I have his one of ones. I have Michael Carter and Denzel Mims. I'm super invested in both of them. Didn't work out so well yet, but I mean, we'll see.
I'm going to tell you who I think is going to have a monster year. That's going to
Laken Tomlinson.
Who's that?
Jeremy Ruckert is going to have a big year at the tight end position. I think he's going to emerge and become the main focus at the tight end position. I think. That's my opinion. We'll see. We'll find out. That's my opinion.
The New York Buckeyes on offense, between him and Garrett Wilson, we could really have something.
Jeremy Ruckert, he had a bad foot. He had a bad foot last year, and he's going to come on. They did not draft him in the third round to be sitting him for another year. That's not happening. That kid's going to play. He's going to play. So somebody's going to be. What's that?
There's two guys for me. I think Laken Thomas. There's two guys for me. Laken Thomas, I think, is going to have a good comeback here. I think he's gonna have a monster year in insider guard. But also, I mean, we've been talking about what Aaron Rodgers is going to be doing and who's he's going to be throwing to. When they signed Mecole Hardman, I said, there we go. That's that guy that blows the roof off a lot of teams. And
man.
Mecole Hardman is going to have – you don't hear him talked about at all in the media, anything like that. But Mecole Hardman, I think, is going to have a phenomenal season. He's going to be that super big play guy because we know Aaron Rodgers likes to throw the ball down the field. And if you have Garrett, Mecole, or Corey in at the same time, or Garrett, Mecole, and Lazard in at the same time, somebody's getting a third corner or a safety on them. And I'm going to bet that it's going to be Mecole, and he's going to be streaking down the field somewhere, and Aaron is going to be hitting him on quite a few big play seam routes or quite a few plays on the outside. Because we know he just likes to get that snap and let it go. And Mecole has that speed to get down the field. And even on, quick passes where he just catches the ball and just takes off, little quick screens, takes off. I think Mecole Hardman is going to be a big factor in this offense. He's going to have a big year.
My guy Huff.
That's a good one too.
Huff's
nice.
Nice. Huff's getting double-digit sacks this year. Put it down.
Let's go.
But Jay, he's not underrated anymore. And he's not under the radar anymore. Everybody knows about him now, man. Everybody's looking for him to actually have something going on. Everybody, I mean, I know I am.
Every Jets fan.
You also got Quinn, you got Lawson, you got McDonald, you got Jermaine John. I mean, JFM, you got guys everywhere, so you can't just focus on one.
Yeah, but Huff is a guy that everybody, all Jets fans know. He's the guy that puts the most pressure on the quarterback at all times, other than Quinnen, coming up the middle. But everybody I think is expecting Huff, to have another stellar season, especially at pass rush spot.
Those defensive linemen are going to eat this year, baby. They're going to eat. They're in their third season. Season. Rob knows that whole, continuity is huge in the NFL, man. The more familiarized you are with the system, the easier it is to react. You play ball, man. You just play ball. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go.
I agree with Sean here. I think Carl Lawson's going to be a freaking monster this year.
Good. I would love to.
I like the kid, whoever said it. I couldn't read it. He said Michael Carter.
Would love it.
I like that, Michael Carter. Michael Carter's another guy under the radar because you got DJ and you got Ahmad. Get all the ink. That kid just sits under the radar, but they love him. And he's another kid in his third year. This is the year. This is the year. Aaron knew where he was going. He was that guy is, we know how smart he is. He was looking at that roster. You think that he wasn't sitting in his house and looking at that roster? I'm telling you right now, he was.
We kicked his ass last year.
And he
didn't have to look. He knew we kicked their ass last year. You were there.
But then he started really looking at it when they started. That's what opened his eyes. He went, these guys are good. Yeah. And then, you know what? Thank God he chose us. I'm thrilled.
I got to read this one. I'm in Long Island Jewish Hospital with my wife. We're having our first son. I'm hanging with you guys to kill time while we wait. Love the channel. A new Jets fan will be in the family shortly. Congrats.
Let's go, man.
Let's go.
There it is.
God bless Jay. God bless you and your wife. All the best.
Another one. Born into the Jet Dome. Another one born right into the Jet Dome.
It's a boy. You got to name that.
Yeah, Jay, the best thing about your kid being born this year is that he'll be able to say that the Jets have never not won a Super Bowl in his lifetime because he comes in, Jets win the Super Bowl, and he doesn't know anything about not winning Super Bowls. It'll be like when Ed talks about the Patriot fans that were born the same year Brady was drafted, and all they know is winning. This kid's going to grow up 20 years. He's going to see about 250 regular season wins and about 9 Super Bowls. It's going to be great. Like LeBron said, not 1, not 2, not 3.
I don't know if you guys saw Michael Clemens. He's up to like 290 now, right? I think they said he's going to be inside now.
He's hanging out. He's hanging out with Aaron Rodgers. They're walking back to the
Debo.
locker room together. They're walking back to
Debo.
life. He says, Aaron, I got you. I'm your bodyguard.
Love it.
Watch
All right, that's gonna do it.
Jermaine
Anything else
Johnson
you guys-
end up with about 10 sacks.
Yeah. JJ, let's go.
We just predicted about 7 different dudes. We just predicted about 7 different dudes that are going to get 10 sacks. I feel like the
Listen,
Jets are in line for at least 150 sacks this year.
Let's break the NFL record. What's the NFL
Listen.
record? Let's break it.
It's the new sack exchange. That's all.
Let's go. Let's go. Get this party started. Off to Canton we go.
Can't wait. Thank you guys for joining us. Fun show. Talk to you guys next week.
Hold on.
Yeah, what you got?
The Chicago Bears lead the NFL at all time in most sacks in a season. It was 1984. They had 72 sacks.
We're going to shatter that.
Yeah, let's beat that.
Let's go. Let's get 73. 73 for Joe
Klecko. Joey K.
73. It's Omen. Let's go. Let's go. Joe lead the way. Joe will lead the way.
There it is.
Thanks again to everyone that joined us. Congrats again to Jay. Talk to you
There
guys.
it is, Jay.
Later, guys.
Sure.
Guys.